Hello everyone, PallyTub here. Welcome back to Heroes of the Storm. In today's video, in the A through Z playthrough, we have landed on Brightwing. Actually, as of right now, in this patch, the highest win rate support player in the game. She has global presence. She's able to teleport a ton around the map and help out allies. All of a sudden, a 2v1 gank can be a 3v1 gank and almost a guaranteed kill. She has some decent offensive output, but she is best, in my opinion, at countering mages. One of the best spell shields that any support has. She's changed a lot over the course of her development. Actually, back in the alpha, she was one of the strongest. And then she had a little bit of a low period. But she always seems to kind of rise and fall in power with a certain, where is he? Dude, I was gonna do a smooth ass transition onto Illidan, but I legit cannot find it. There he is, with an Illidan. Let's pretend like that sentence in the middle wasn't there. Anyway, we're gonna be playing Brightwing. She's a support. I'm not very good at supports, so, you know, take that with a grain of salt. But I'm looking forward to it. Should be fun. We need a better skin, though. We gotta be monkey. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we find ourselves in the Infernal Shrines today. I have to touch my camera so it doesn't turn off. I installed some custom firmware on that bad boy, so maybe it won't turn off anymore. I actually don't know. At level 1, we are going for Unfurling Spray. Increase Soothing Mist range by 20%. Soothing Mist is our passive, it's our trait, and basically every 4 seconds we heal for 120 around us. This used to be significantly stronger, and in the past Brightwing had talents prior to her rework. She did receive a rework, but prior to the rework she had talents that allowed her to just pop out heals all of the time. Whenever she used an ability, and she had rewind at level 12, which meant that she could just heal, rewind, heal, use her heroic to jump in and heal twice, and it could be a third time at level 20. So she basically had the highest AoE healing output in the entire game, to the point that it was a little bit absurd. And they have nerfed that into the ground a bit. She's always had global presence on her Z, which allows her to teleport to a target of her choosing. And, you know, it's pretty good. It has a, 45-second cooldown? Yeah. And it basically allows her to be anywhere that she might need to be. So if Azmodan's having trouble up top, he's not, but let's say he was, we could just teleport right up there and help him out and make sure he's okay. She's always had that. We're gonna ping some missings here. Go down, nope. I should have stayed and polymorphed, but actually, I think coming down here was the right decision. We do polymorph the enemy team's Illidan, and we'll just kite him into the towers a little bit, spread the pixie dust, try to deal some damage. Our Q ability in the past, even at like level 25, wasn't strong enough to kill a minion wave. And that's kind of pathetic. Like, you couldn't even kill caster minions with her Q ability, and it's her only damaging ability. So the trade-off for all of that super high aggression, or super high healing ability, I guess you could kind of say that was aggression. Well, she was throwing out a ton of spells with Rewind too. But the contrast for that was that she basically didn't deal any damage. So it was like you were counting on a character to just fully be supporting you and doing nothing else for the entirety of a match. Dive over the wall, I dare you. Go ahead. Go ahead, I don't mind. Now, right now, we could just totally go back to the base, and it'll be just fine, and then we can teleport up top to our team. We are going to need our Zagara to roam up there as well. The enemy team does have a Dahaka, so that allows them to kind of play similarly. He can just kind of appear wherever he wants to. This map has a ton of smoke, which means Dahaka can get around really, really easily. Our W ability is Polymorph, and this is one of the best counters in the game to characters like Illidan. Characters who rely on attacking to stay alive, maybe Sonya to an extent, and Artanis definitely. Anyone who has to constantly be fighting in order to live, or a Chen who has to drink to live. Polymorph is an excellent counter to them because it stops all of that survivability, it interrupts any casting they would be doing, and basically makes the character idle for, 1.5 seconds. Now, Brightwing in the past, back in the alpha or the beta or whenever the actual time frame was, she was mainly picked just to counter characters like Illidan. And we saw a very big spike in her popularity when Illidan was very, very strong. When Illidan was nerfed into the ground for a while, we didn't see Brightwing at all. But all of a sudden, Illidan gets a rework, and who do we see on the upswing? We see Brightwing coming back to the top because she's just so good at countering that kind of a playstyle. I also feel like people into, you know, the general consensus for the Heroes community in today's meta is that global presence is significantly more valuable. Being able to turn a fight around just because your healer showed up halfway through, while she could be across the map doing her own thing during other times is really, really good. I'm just going to go make sure our Zagara's okay. Again, that was a position where the enemy Dahaka could have been very aggressive towards our Zagara player there, but I show up and I instantly make it a 2v1, and then Dahaka just rethinks all of his life decisions. We are going for a very, very, very easy build today, guys. If you are looking to play Brightwing, this one is tried, tested, and true. It's great at damage mitigation. It's great at just healing around your character without really being complex at all. You're just relying on your trait to kind of do whatever your trait wants to do. They are getting so many kills up top. I'm actually amazed. And while that's going... Oh, hold on. I'm coming. I'm coming. Hey! The teleport took forever. I don't really know why. But as you can see, all we have to do is stand next to this Zagara, and we're going to be healing her for a ton. We don't have to do anything here. We can give her pixie dust, and that allows me to heal her for even more. And all of a sudden, a situation that she was absolutely 100% going to die in, now she's totally fine. No big deal. No big deal at all. So what Pixie Dust does is it increases the movement speed of the target by hold the fucking phone. That's a scientific measurement. It's by hold the fucking phone amounts of movement speed. That was a pretty big rotate down to the bottom lane. That basically means they're not soaking anything anywhere. I mean, I guess I don't need to leave. We could sippy cup. They are taking the bottom camp right now. Increased movement speed by 20%, and it blocks the next 2 hero basic attacks. It basically gives free block charges, which is pretty cool. I'm just gonna auto attack him. I'm gonna auto attack him a lot. I don't want the camp at all. I just want to stop them from getting the camp. We have hit level 10, so we are gonna go for Blink Heal, which is her main healing heroic. This is what I recommend most of the time. Especially if you're the only support on your team. Although I will say, if we look at HoTs logs, the knockback has a higher win rate right now. So, you know, keep that in mind. The enemy team not soaking XP at all right now, focusing on this mercenary camp a lot, and basically just allowing us to continue to stay ahead. The only person that was soaking XP for them is Dahaka. Well, he is still up top, I guess. And we were able to push them out of here because of our level advantage. And now that the objective is up again, they're not going to actually have any staying power to contest it. I'm going to go ahead and teleport up to our Artanis. We'll say hello to him. Our Zagara does have the Nidus network, which should allow her to be very global as well. So we have a great team for just pressuring these objectives. The damage on her Q ability, by the way, I mentioned that she received some changes. The damage on her Q ability was increased when her kind of healing output was decreased. And there's basically 2 dominant builds for Brightwing right now. A build that is focused on teleporting in and giving a massive shield to like a squishy target. So maybe for this Chromie, that would have been a good idea. And then there's the build that I'm doing, which is all just about AoE healing, making sure everyone around you is always in a good spot. The enemy team has hit level 10, and they might want to contest this here. Illidan is above, and Tassadar is below, but it looks like we're going to be just fine. And this is going to be a Frozen Punisher pushing the middle lane, which is already missing its tier 1 defenses because our Azmodan was sieging it so hard. Azmodan using a different build from the one that I used. He is going for the new meta, the channeling your E on everything build. Zagara coming in to reinforces from behind, and we can still see Dahaka trying to push the bottom lane. So Dahaka trying to just get some XP where he can, whereas we are going for a very important building that the enemy team has right away. We're going to go ahead and polymorph this Illidan just so he can't deal more damage to this Frozen Punisher, and we are zoning these guys out really, really hard. We do have... Oh, I got you! I got you! Don't worry, it's going to be okay! I didn't see Chromie there for a second. I got her, though. We're going to be just fine. We use Blink Heal to get her back up to full health, or a reasonable amount of health, and then we could just hang out and keep her alive with our Soothing Mist on top of these Pixie Dust. Artana's having a little bit of trouble now. We are going to crowd control the Illidan and try to keep him alive. Here we go. We're doing it, team. If he can keep auto-attacking, he's going to be in a great spot. The enemy team's Vala has been killed, and now Illidan switching his attention over to our Chromie player. We're just going to continue to crowd control him every time he dies after her. And you can just from this alone see how strong Brightwing is versus this Illidan. I am going to go for the ability reduction. It looks like I'm going to die here. That's totally fine. It looks like Artanis might die as well, which is what I was trying to avoid. I was just trying to kite him away. So misplay on my part. I definitely could have teleported out. I definitely could have jump healed. I think that's what it's called, right? Blink heal. I could have blink healed too. A minion to get away. There were several things that I could have done differently if I wasn't completely panicking on the inside. But God, it's like, it was so funny to watch her pick rate over time, because when Illidan got nerfed, you didn't see her at all. And then all of a sudden Illidan gets strong again, and she's like the #1. Oh, Nova capped it. She's like the #1 pick support all of a sudden. And, you know, Illidan kind of dived back down. They kind of rebalanced him. They kind of tweaked his numbers a little bit. But we haven't really seen Brightwing go anywhere. It was like, that's all the community needed to once again reignite their interest in this character. I think that's kind of pretty cool, actually. I think it's pretty cool. The next objective is going to be up top. Let's go ahead and make our way up there. I wouldn't mind taking this camp over before we get there. But actually with Azmodan just split pushing in the bottom lane, we should just walk right in and hope for the best. Even if we don't get the camp, just delaying at this point is going to be pretty valuable for us. I'm going to try to reinforce the health of our Artanis here, make sure he is nice and healthy. The ability damage we're going to be mitigating is mostly coming from Vala's Heroic, where she's trying to stun us, but mainly from the burst damage of Nova. So if I see Nova in an area like right here, we're just going to immediately start to spread Pixie Dust just to try to mitigate the amount of burst damage she can deal with a snipe or something like that. That's why we went for the ability power reduction. And Brightwing is the only healer that is able to spread a spell shield to her comrades. So, oh, Dahak is here. So, she's great versus mages like Li Ming or Kael'thas, characters who are going to be dealing a ton of AoE damage. Jaina is actually pretty good right now as well. She's going to be one of the best picks versus those characters just because you can mitigate so much damage that they're actually trying to spit out at you. And it's important to mention that a lot of the high win rate assassins right now are ability power focused assassins and not attack damage or attack speed focused assassins. So in the past we used to see high win rates on characters that had imposing presence, but with the main shift of the meta over to a more mage style burst comps, we see Brightwing once again reigning supreme because of it. We are going to go for Pixie Dust bounces. I was considering picking up Criterize for a while there just so we could punish the Illidan a bit more when he jumps in. Polymorphing him and increasing the damage that he takes by 25% could be very, very valuable. But I decided we're just going to continue to bounce the Pixie Dust. Not just for the spell shield, but also for our early game talent where we are going to be increasing the healing of our trait as well. Artanis did manage to jump over the wall beforehand. We do see our Azmodan in a bit of trouble. Let's head down here and we'll try to help him out. Pixie Dust gonna bounce. We can polymorph the Illidan and try to just make sure that he's gonna be okay. I'm trying not to use Blink Heal too much. Illidan is completely tanking this entire minion wave. But here we go. We'll start to throw out a few more Blink Heals, some Pixie Dust to make sure he stays healthy, increasing that healing. And just like that, we were able to turn a 2v2 that Azmodan was probably going to lose into a 1v2 that Azmodan was probably going to lose into a 2v2 just because of our global presence. And we won that fight, and it's kind of looking like we might be able to go for core here because we do have 2 minion wave pushed in quite hard. Azmodan is tanking the core, so we'll just make sure that he has the Pixie Dust on him all the time for that increased Soothing Mist healing. And it looks like this is going to be a good game, boys. Really, really easy one. I didn't even do a warm-up game for Brightwing. I was like, I don't play her, so what good is a warm-up game going to do for me? Now, she has been one of those characters that for a very long time, I was like, I need to get in there and I need to actually play her more because I enjoy Brightwing a lot. She's really, really fun. I just never do. I never play supports. That's my weak link. I think that's like the whole reason why supporting stresses me out, right? It's because I don't have a lot of practice with it. So why should just practice with it? Like, that seems to be the easiest thing to fix there. But here are the stats for the game, just in case you wanted to see them. And the talents we picked in today's video: Unfurling Spray, Manic Pixie, Mystified, Blink Heal, Shield Dust, Bouncing Dust, and then, what were we gonna go for at level 20? Probably just Revitalizing Mist. Healing another hero with Soothing Mist increases their healing received from Soothing Mist by 25% for 6 seconds, and that stacks up to 3 times. All right, everybody, that's it for me today. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Up next, we are going to have my main man, Chen, one of my favorite characters in the whole game. God, so good. Hope you guys are looking forward to that, and I will see you all tomorrow.